in the quiet, tree-lined suburbs of Charlotte, North Carolina. The HOA had rules, the neighbors had secrets, and Debra Langston, better known as Drama Lady, had a reputation for making everything 10 times harder than it had to be, especially for her husband. Carl Langston, 51, was a soft-spoken, flannel-wearing handyman who worked 6 days a week at the local hardware store. He loved grilling, old country music, and minding his own business. His biggest dream? Retire early, go fishing, and be left in peace. But being married to Drama Lady meant peace was never on the menu. Carl had been sleeping on the couch for 3 days. Why? Because he forgot to compliment Debra's new haircut, which turned out to be her spiritual bob, a blunt cut she claimed represented a fresh chapter in her life. A chapter that included sage burning, essential oils, and energy realignment. Carl, being a simple man, had just said, "Look shorter." Big mistake. So she threw his clothes in the hallway and told him if he couldn't respect her aura, he could sleep in the garage with the lawnmower. And that's exactly what he did. Debra thought a night or two in the garage would straighten Carl out. But Carl? He saw it differently. He walked into that dusty, cobweb-ridden garage, sat on an old camping chair, cracked open a root beer, and muttered, "You know what? I kinda like this." By the third night, he brought out his Bluetooth speaker and played George Strait. By the fifth, he had moved a mini fridge in. By the seventh, he was drawing sketches on napkins labeled Garage Vision 2025. The neighbors noticed too. Carl building something? Thought he was in trouble? Nah. I think he's nesting. Carl called in reinforcements. His 2 best friends from the hardware store, Frank and Leo. They came in with toolboxes, 6 packs, and 1 rule: no wives allowed during construction hours. They started small, installed insulation, painted the walls gray-blue, mounted an old flat-screen TV. Carl had rescued from a yard sale. Next came the custom-built bar made from reclaimed wood. Then a dartboard. Then a sign above the bar that read, "The cave is open." Carl even installed a surround sound system, wired himself. When Leo asked, "What if Debra gets mad?" Carl simply said, "She already kicked me out. Might as well decorate." By week 3, Carl's garage wasn't just a hideout. It was a fully functional man sanctuary. Local guys started coming over on Friday nights. They drank root beer, watched football, grilled wings on a portable smoker, and had absolutely no discussions about essential oils. Debra? She was fuming. She marched out one day in her silk robe and yelled, "Carl, you've turned this place into a backwoods bar." To which Carl responded, "No ma'am, this is a peacekeeping station. I'm just doing my part for the neighborhood." Debra stormed off, but deep down, even she had to admit it looked kinda cool. Chapter 5. When HOA came calling 2 weeks later, the HOA president, Marla Jensen, a tall woman with a clipboard, fused to her hand, knocked on Carl's garage door. "Mr. Langston," she sniffed, "we've received reports of excessive male activity and unauthorized construction." Carl offered her a root beer, which she declined. But what she couldn't decline was the permit Carl had already secured from the city. Turns out, Carl had played it smart. He wasn't just building, he was legally remodeling. Marla left, grumbling about bylaws and male energy. The very next week, Carl installed air conditioning. One rainy Thursday, Debra peeked into the garage during Carl's usual movie night. She saw 8 men cheering over a football game, a popcorn machine, a no drama zone sign. Carl, laughing louder than he had in years. She felt weird. Not angry, not jealous, but maybe left out. So she did something no one expected. She walked in. Everyone paused. Debra looked around. "Humph, smells like bacon grease and testosterone in here." Carl stood. "You want a soda or something?" She nodded. "Diet, please." Everyone stared like a bear had just asked to join a campfire. And just like that, Drama Lady had entered the man cave. The next day, Debra called Carl inside. They sat at the kitchen table. She said, "I may have overreacted." "About the haircut?" Carl said, "I may have overbuilt the garage." They both laughed. Then Debra added, "How about this? I'll stop calling it a shack. If you let me host book club in there once a month." Carl paused, then smiled, "Only if you bring snacks." Frank posted a photo of the man cave on Facebook. Caption, "When your wife kicks you out. So you build a kingdom." It went viral. Local news came out for an interview. Then HGD reposted it. Even a furniture company sent Carl free recliners. They called him the Suburban Garage King. Debra? She started selling cave snacks online. Gourmet trail mix labeled "Made by Drama Lady." And just like that, the Langstons became local legends. Now, every fourth Saturday of the month, the man cave hosts poker night, root beer tastings. Carl even added a mini stage for live music. And every evening, as the string lights flicker, Carl sits in his custom recliner, root beer in hand. Debra curled up beside him reading murder mysteries. The same garage that once held paint cans and broken bicycles now held peace, popcorn, and people. Because sometimes when drama pushes you out, you build your own door.